Oh, grrr. So sorry that I'm talking low. It's kind of late and everybody's sleeping, so can't make too much noise. Anyway, I just wanna touch base a little bit about what's happening this week so far in political news. Um, Elizabeth Warren is a loser. No, let me stop. Let me not. Let me. let me let me not. But Bernie Sanders, he won New Hampshire, and there's a really good chance that he's gonna win the nomination if the Democrats don't do anything to fuck him over, which they're gonna try. Of course, they did it last time in 2016 with Hillary Clinton, even though she lost to Donald Trump, which makes her loser. Loser, yeah, she's a loser. She's always been a loser. She lost to Barack Obama and she lost to Trump. And well, she won as for Senate. Yeah, she won for Senate, but she didn't do anything. No, she didn't do anything as senator. For New York. So yeah, let's keep that in mind. But anyway, New Hampshire, Bernie Sanders won. Awesome. But guess what the big news is? Amy Klobuchar came in a strong third. It's so exciting. It's so exciting. Really, Chuck Todd? Really? Amy Klobuchar came in a strong third. Tell me, how do you think she's gonna do in the South when she's voting at 0% with black people? With, excuse me, African Americans and Latinos? How do you think Pete Buttigieg is gonna do? I mean, he's cheating though because he did give Shadow Inc. $42,000, and that's why he said he won Iowa, and he didn't win Iowa because Bernie Sanders actually won a popular vote. But I digress. Anyway, so yeah, Amy Klobuchar came in a strong third. There's no way she's gonna win the nomination, but still she came in a strong third. And you know what? I'm gonna give credit to what credit is due. I don't like Amy Klobuchar, and it's not because she's a woman. It's because I don't like her. I don't like her policy. The thing is, I don't mind if you're a centrist. I really don't. I have some centrist points of views. I have some conservative points of views. For me, children are really, really conservative point of view. For me personally, how you raise your kids ain't none of my business. Like, do with that. That's your business. You want to raise a child who ain't got no respect. That's upon you. But I digress. But yeah, Amy Klobuchar did come in the third place. She came in a strong third. Again, she's not going to win a nomination, and even if she were to win a nomination, she's not going to be Trump in a debate. Let's be honest. Ain't nobody checking for Amy Klobuchar. Now, Pete Buttigieg, he came in a strong second, but he is only voting. He's only polling at 4% with African American people. And then and he fired the first African American police chief in his hometown when he was mayor, and he fired the first African American fire chief as well. And what he also did was he hid the audio tapes of the white officers saying that they're gonna take their town back. But he's not a racist. He doesn't have any racist points of views. Oh yeah, and he was for Medicare for all back in 2017. But then when Big Pharma started, yeah, giving money to him, he kind of was not in Medicare for all anymore because big pharmaceuticals started giving him money, and then he started doing fundraisers for billionaires. Because now he has the most billionaires who has contributed to his campaign. He has over 40 billionaires, but he's not going to be working on their behalf. He's going to be working on your behalf because you guys want him to be president, and he's only going to be working for you guys. Do you guys really believe that if somebody gives you $200,000 that they're not gonna want something in return? Of course they are. That's how it works. They made it so it's legal to bribe our politicians. That's how they made it. And it's disturbing that even if you're a centrist, the fact that money in politics isn't a problem for you is a problem. There's a there, and you guys don't want to see it. Again, even if you're a centrist, let's say you don't believe in Medicare for all. Let's say you don't. Because you have a union, which, by the way, is a socialist program. By the way, if you're not for socialism, unions were developed because of socialism. Just so you know. Anyway, so with that being said, You're not for Medicare for all, but you cannot sit there and tell me money in politics is okay when you have the establishment saying, you know what a Republican would do with the money that Bloomberg is giving to them? They would take it and use it against the Democrats. That's the point. The point is that you guys are not supposed to be Republicans. You guys are supposed to be the complete opposite of Republicans. But you saying we will take the money of Bloomberg because Republicans will do it. It's the most dumbest thing ever. It's the dumbest thing. The fact that MSNBC is saying these things is crazy to me. It's crazy. It really is. Another thing that they're saying is, oh my God, how can they call Bernie Sanders a front runner when he got less votes this time than he did back in 2016? He got less votes. He was running against one person last time, and this time he ran against 9 people. That's how you get less votes. I don't understand how Chuck Todd doesn't understand that. And I'm not going to even sit here and act like, oh my God, he's just oblivious. He's a fucking dickhead. He's a fucking dickhead. The fact that he's acting as if he doesn't understand is fucking dumb. Because that man does understand. God, I don't understand. I don't understand how these people still have. Well, I know how they have jobs because, the establishment. But like I don't understand how anybody, even if you're a centrist, I have conservative points of views. I do, but for me, it's more like just because I believe those things doesn't mean I have to make doesn't mean other people have to believe them. Those I set standards for myself. I don't have to inflict them on other people. For instance, I'm just gonna lay it out there. I don't believe in late-term abortion. I know abortion is a very touchy subject, and it is what it is. I'm not a woman. I can't say what another woman should do with her body. Those are my personal beliefs. Now, let's say if I were to run for Congress in District 14 here in New York, I wouldn't vote against abortion. Because again, just because I don't believe in late-term abortion doesn't mean I have the right to tell women what to do with their bodies, because I don't. That's between the woman, her husband, if she's married, and her doctor. That's how I feel about that. But me personally, I don't believe in late-term abortion. But again, it's not for me to make other people believe what I believe. You know what I'm saying? That's just what I believe. Another thing I'm conservative on, since I'm on the topic, I don't believe that kids should be taking hormone blockers. I don't believe it. I'm sorry, because we don't know what the effects are of these hormone blockers that they are taking. There are hundreds of children who start taking hormone blockers at like 14, and then by the age of 16, they want to detransition. It happens. It happens. I'm against hormone blockers not because I want to prevent a person from being who they are, but because you don't know what kind of effect it's going to have on them in the future. More tests need to be run. How does it affect their kidneys, their lungs, their growth, their brain development? These questions are very important. So that, yes, am I conservative when it comes down to children? I really am, and I'm conservative as well because I know what it's like to have options, to have your choice taken away from you, have your options taken away from you, for you to see things that you should not be seeing as a child. I know what that's like, and it's not fun. You deal with that trauma as you get older. So those are my 2 conservative points of views. However, I am for Medicare for all. I am for eliminating student debt. I am for tuition for college. I am for eliminating medical debt. I am for all of these things, and it's really frustrating because I've seen African American people on the air, on the Rising, actually today, on February 13th. So 2 African Americans on Rising, basically saying that, well, Bernie Sanders, isn't gonna win the nomination because, African Americans aren't voting for him and this, that, and the third, and it's just amazing to me because more African Americans are voting for him now than they did back in 2016. You know what's the funny thing? And I've seen this on a couple of posts on Facebook and on Twitter and things like that. I'm seeing some African Americans who are saying Bernie Sanders has done nothing for the black community, and it's still going to be the lesser of two evils, even if he is a nominee, and this that and like and this that and the third. How are you comparing Bernie Sanders, somebody who fought for civil rights, for not just African Americans, but for women, for gay people, for the disenfranchised? He has fought for everybody, for everybody. And for me to hear this is disheartening, because it's like you don't know that means you don't know what he's done. You're saying that you have, but you don't know what amendments he's passed. He, from 1995 to I think 2007, he passed 90 amendments to help people. To help people. Bernie Sanders can work with anybody. He can. And he's tried. I remember watching him give a speech on the Congress floor. And you know who was there? Bernie Sanders. Everybody from Congress left. They didn't want to hear what he had to say. They didn't want to hear how he wanted to help people. It's funny because people are like, well, Bernie Sanders hasn't done this, Bernie Sanders hasn't done that. It's not a one-man show, guys. Even if he does try to get amendments passed and legislation passed, he's not doing it on his own. He needs votes from Congress people. He needs votes from the other congressmen and women. He can't get things passed on his own. The senators, excuse me, now he's a senator. He can't get things passed on his own. He needs for them to support him. If he wants to pass discriminate, let's say he wants to pass a deprivatizing of prisons. Let's say he wants to pass that. He can't pass that on his own. He needs the support of the other senators to do it. So for anybody to sit there and say, well, he hasn't done anything for the African American community, you don't know his record then. You're acting as if you do, but you really don't. You don't know what he's done for the past 40 years. You don't know what he's tried to do for the past 40 years. You don't, he's been working on this longer than you've been alive, for the most part. And it's sad because I've heard people have told me, well, you're not talking to black people, and this, you're not talking, well, sit down with African Americans and, this, that, and that. I'm like, how do you know who I'm sitting down with? How do you know I'm not experiencing the same things you're experiencing? You think because I'm a lighter shade that that I haven't experienced racism and prejudice? I have, because I don't look white. Yes, I may be a lighter skin color, but they know I'm not white. They know I'm not. And it's so sad. And you know what's the crazy thing? A lot of them actually think I'm from the Middle East. And they get it even worse. They get it just as bad, sometimes worse, than African Americans. Because people from the Middle East are what? Muslim. And oh my God, every Muslim is worse. They're so horrible. Oh my God. All they want to do is kill people. And if you read the Quran and this, that, and the third. How many people actually read the Quran? I bet you, I don't know anybody. People have spoken about the Quran. People have taken bits and pieces of the Quran. But if you're not Muslim, chances are you've never read the whole thing. So nobody can even throw out the Quran out there because none of y'all even read it. Let's be honest about that. It's just disheartening for me because I've seen people criticize Bernie Sanders when for the past 40 years he's done nothing but try to help people. That's what's so disheartening to me. And again, it's crazy because Bernie Sanders wasn't even my first choice. Well, at first he was, and then he wasn't. And he's still not. Tulsi Gabbard is my first choice. If she makes it to New York, I'm voting for her. If she doesn't, I can't vote for her. I don't know what to say. If she drops out of the race after South Carolina, I can't do nothing. I'm going to vote for Bernie Sanders. Because Andrew Yang isn't even in the race anymore. And I'm sure as hell not voting for Pete Buttigieg. And I'm fucking hell I ain't voting for Amy Klobuchar. Even less Joe Biden. Even less Mike Bloomberg. And it's crazy because you have people like Nina Turner, who I love. Side note, Nina Turner should definitely be his VP. What? That's the winning ticket right there, Bernie. I hope you watch this. Nina Turner for VP. Yes to the gods. I love Nina Turner. I love Nina Turner. My second choice for his VP will be Tulsi Gabbard. I think Tulsi Gabbard will also be a really, really good VP. I think that'd be a beautiful fuck you to Hillary Clinton. But then again, Nina Turner can have a beautiful fuck you to Hillary Clinton too. I feel bad for Tulsi. Side note, I do. Another side note, side note. Because she really wanted it. I know she did. I know she did. And she really did do everything in her power to try to get it. She really did, you know. She took down Camilla, which I was happy about. Which she would have taken out Elizabeth Warren, but Elizabeth Warren took herself out. She did that herself, you know. And I want to actually give a shout out to the Rising, Crystal Ball for pointing that out. Not that Jen Cougar didn't, he did, but I don't know. I just like the way Crystal Ball broke it down even more, in my opinion. So I want to give Crystal Ball a shout out. One more thing. If you're not watching Rising, watch it. It's freaking amazing. It's a really good show, guys. It's on YouTube. Really watch it. It's not as long as the Young Turks and this, that, and the third, but it's a really, really good show. Guys, The Hills, Rising, watch it. It's amazing. So now that we got Bernie winning out of the way, we got Amy Klobuchar out of the way, we got the corporate establishment, the media establishment out of the way. I just want to say one thing before I end this video. I want to talk about why I created this channel, because I was asked that today at work. Not today at work, but I was asked that this week, you know, why did I create this channel? Why? For what? There's enough political channels out there. And there is. There's a lot of political channels out there. But I feel like I'm the only one that gives my opinion the way that I give it. You know, I always said it, if I run for anything, I'm going to be the Cardi B of politics, and that's what I am right now. For, in my opinion, for me, you know, I love politics. Like, oh my God, I never would have thought 5 years ago I would love politics the way that I do. Love learning about policy, love learning about the senators and congressmen, what powers they actually have, what legislation they can bring forth, how a president can veto something, and this. I really love it. And I love talking about it. That's why I try not to talk about it, because I can't stop once I start. It's really embedded in me. And that actually goes to Bernie Sanders. I was not into politics until I started really paying attention to him back in 2015. So thank you, Bernie Sanders. I know you're not watching this, but if you do, happen to glance by my channel and make it to the 17-minute, 25-second mark, thank you, Bernie Sanders. You really opened my eyes. Thank you, Nina Turner. Thank you, everybody, even the Young Turks. I'm not going to lie. Sometimes I don't like the way they address people, and I've had my issues with the Young Turks, especially when it comes down to Tulsi Gabbard. But I will say they really, despite it all, they got me into politics. So thank them. I thank them a lot. But I started doing this because I really want people who are like me more aware of what's going out there. You know, there aren't a lot of people like me who would like seriously sit down and watch the Young Turks, who would seriously sit down and watch Rising, who would seriously sit down and watch. Well, Secular Talk I would, because Cocklancy is fucking cute as hell. And if he's watching this, no disrespect, I know you're straight, but whatever, it is what it is. I think you're attractive. And Mike from the Humanities Report, that beard, get chavo. But like, I just feel like I actually fucks with Mike just a little bit more, because he curses a little bit more than Kyle, and I like that. Like, you can tell that Mike is pissed. You can tell the Latino comes out of him, and I love it. But that's why I started doing this, because I wanted to just let somebody like me who doesn't watch those people kind of get a different perspective. You know, again, with like Bernie Sanders winning New Hampshire, and Elizabeth Warren like being a wolf in sheep's clothing, and how she's the wolf in sheep's clothing, the lies that she's told, how she spun her stories over and over, how she's disingenuous, how she's lied on Bernie Sanders, and this, that, and like there are things that people like me wouldn't really see, you know. And I feel like if they just stop by the channel, just like, hey, oh shit, like, yo, this dude seems kind of interesting. Like, let me take a look at him. Let me see what he's about. You know, the progressive voice. You know, I know there's a couple of other channels that are like that, so I'm gonna end up changing this channel. But for now, it's the progressive voice. So I don't know what I would change it to, but for now, that's what it is. But that's how I did this channel, because I want people like me to really be into politics. Like, we are the future. Like, we are. And we need to open our eyes. And whether you're a Democrat, whether you're a Republican, whether you're independent, whether you're a conservative, whether you're a Green Party member, which I am, not now, but I usually am. Um, whether you're a libertarian, whether you're whatever, know what's going on. At least in your district. At least in your district. Like, I know in my district, I'm not in AOC's district. I'm not in District 15. I'm in District 14 here in the Bronx. But people love AOC. What has she done for her district? I consider myself a progressive. And if I were to run, I would run as a Justice Democrat. I would. But what has she done for her district? I live in the Bronx. You know, I see the drug addicts who still are out there. I see the people who are alcoholics who are still out there. You're out there. You're out there for me. She's out there, endorsing and campaigning for Bernie Sanders. You need to be in your district. You really need to be. I don't understand that you're working for them. For you to be campaigning with Bernie Sanders, to me, is disrespectful to your constituents. It really is. Because me, if I were a congressman, I'm not, even if I endorse Bernie Sanders or even Tulsi Gabbard, I'm not going on tour with you. Why? Because I'm working for my constituents. I got a job to do. I'm getting paid $175,000 a year because I'm working for them. I'm trying to get shit done. You know? I'm about to stop this video. It's a really long video, so I'm really sorry, guys. I know I'm kind of rambling, but I haven't really made a lot of videos, and I really wanted to get some things out. But my next video, I'm going to talk about what I would actually do if I were a congressman, because I feel like that's something, that actually was a question I was asked me yesterday by one of my coworkers. How would you get me to vote for you? What would you do? And I'm not going to go too much into it, but one thing I would do is I would only take donations from the people in my district. I wouldn't take donations from anybody else, not while I'm running for Congress. Because at the end of the day, I'm working for my constituents. If I take money from people from Virginia, people from Ohio, people from this place, from that place, in my opinion, I'm no longer working for my constituents. And that's not for me. That's not what it is. That's one thing I would do. But anyway, guys, hope you guys had a great day. I'll now see you guys at the next one. Deuces.